de cette fameuse DAB+, la suite numérique en quelque sorte de la FM, et cet exemple norvégien, comment NRK, ce média norvégien, a choisi de passer de la FM aujourd'hui au tout DAB+. Et pour en parler, je vous laisse la parole, Cathinka Rondan, une dizaine de minutes, un quart d'heure environ. Dear Cathinka, I let you speak.
Merci. I will be speaking in English because I'm so sorry I cannot speak well enough French. I'm going to talk to you about the sound of what we have, I've boldly called the sound of resilience, and I want to share with you our experiences of 5 years of DAB in Norway. What we see is sound is changing much slower than other formats. When sound started becoming digital and apps, everybody wanted to say, oh, it's just like TV, and they think they could copy-paste those experiences, but it isn't actually like that. This is from media in Norway. We see that all things digital grow, but all things broadcast go down. But what we see, if you go to this is from year 2000 to 2022, and if you go to the far right, you see the cluster in the middle there is TV and radio and streaming on TV. So you see that the line of radio is much more consistent than many of the other lines, because there is something special about radio. The button you can just press in the morning, the in-car listening. The media of sound is easier to do along with other things. That is one of the things that is quite unique with the media in a day and age where everybody's trying to do 3 things at once. You can listen to radio and do other things at the same time, and we see that the listening is quite stabilized. The FM shutdown for Norway was at the 2017, and you saw the decrease from 62% to 59% in the FM shutdown. But it has since the last couple of 5 years stabilized. So today 72% have a DAB radio, and 76% have DAB radio in their cars. And we listen to radio everywhere, in home, out of home, in earphones, but also in car and in second home, which is like a cottage or a summer house. And the out-of-home listening is also the second largest, together with the in-home. But in Norway, we don't actually talk that much about DAB anymore. It's just listening to radio, and we are finished with the DAB discussion, if it's a good idea or how it will work, because it has stabilized and has worked well. So our best tips going DAB is cooperate and stand together as media, to stand together for the listener, for the sake of the listener, and making a best offering. Also engage with car and retail industries. One of the channels we made in NRK was a channel called P1 Plus, which was a channel only for people above 55, 60. And the retail industry started selling DAB, just calling it buy a radio where you can listen to P1 Plus, because that channel became so popular. So the tip is to find out what is missing in the market and create that, so the audience feel they get something new with DAB, and then give the listeners new stations that really matter to them. So with new content you also get new audiences, and this is now actually the range of radio stations we have at NRK, which is a public service channel. And here we have, as you see, a channel only for jazz, a channel only for children, a channel only for classic, classical music, channel only for the Sápmi audience in Norway. We have a channel only for news and a channel only for sports. And we actually tested if the news and sports channel should be the same channel, and found out there were too many times during a week that something very exciting was happening in sports at the same time that something very exciting was happening at news, and the audience weren't happy with having to choose between one of them. So the sports fans have one channel and the news fans have another. And also channels only for young people. So the share of listening now and before from 20 non-national and 33 national is that there's more choice, and in that way that the audience spreads out among the channel. So it's where a radio listener earlier typically listened to one channel, 1.5 maybe each. They now listen to 3.5 channels each. So they switch more between the channels during the day. So then we've had a more holistic approach to radio, where we say that you don't get everything you need on one channel in NRK, but you will get everything you need on one of our channels during the day. And what we see is that we have to have very clear, recognizable channels that complement each other and are real alternatives to each other, and therefore also are easy to choose because there are many channels to choose between. And they answer to the listener's modes and needs. So we see, for example, that we have a talk radio channel that goes in depth on issues all the time. And we have one mainly pop music channel, and the same listener can choose the in-depth channel when he or she wants that or has the need for that. And then when they maybe want to relax, they go over to the more pop music channel. So they choose the channel and not the program after different needs and modes during a day and during a week. So then every channel gives the listener something unique that makes it easy to identify. And the result is that Norwegians are significantly more content with the radio offering after DAB than before. So that went from 63 to 69% who said this is a much better radio offering we have now than we used to have. Because the DAB, especially Norway being a very mountainy country, so if you lived in some of the outskirts in Norway, you didn't get the whole offering that some of the people in the cities had. So it's a more democratic offering because more people in Norway get to listen to the whole reach. So it's giving more to everyone. And they also get a more spectrum, a variety and diversity of channels. So it's more for me, as they feel. And with that, I wish you good luck and thank you for listening.